How is it that phone and purse snatchers operate? We'll see that in this video. Guys, welcome to the channel, and as always, if you want to stay prepared, learn more about how to keep yourself and your family safe, you have the channel and you have my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse, Street Survival Skills. Specifically for this one, a lot on self-defense, security, being safe on the streets, in your house, and a bunch of other practical knowledge, and surviving the economic collapse for the aspect of finances and your country going through this sort of thing. Now, in this video, we see a certain person approaching a lady on a bench. Now, I want to stop here because I had recently talked about this American former police officer that moved to Argentina, in his own words, looking for freedom. Now, I won't question that at all. In fact, I would even agree with him that you have more freedom in Argentina than in the United States, especially if you consider it from the perspective of the government that is intrusive, that gets into your life, that tells you how you should live, that has maybe a little bit too much power over all of that, and the size of it in itself. The U.S. government is the largest ever by far, and it's also one of the more intrusive in terms of how much power and control it has over all aspects of your life. Now, in the case of Argentina, you have issues. The government being a little bit too huge in that aspect, not so much. It's more about the bureaucracy and the inflated public employee, but it's not so much in terms of intelligence, of Patriot Act and stuff like that. All right, so I won't argue the point of I'm leaving the United States and moving to Argentina because I think I'll enjoy more freedom there. Yeah, probably the case. And even in cultural aspects of cancel culture, all the woke nonsense, you have that all over the world. But it is true that in Argentina, definitely not as much as in U.S. or other parts of the what's known as developed world, or first world countries. But in this sort of thing, I think he's wrong in terms of, oh, this is super safe, nothing happens here, I feel safer here than anywhere. Okay, great. But what is the truth of how safe you really are or not? Well, it's what I've been telling you all along. No, Buenos Aires is not really a safe city. It is safer than other parts of Argentina. It's definitely safer than the suburbs where I lived of Buenos Aires. I actually lived in the more dangerous suburb of Buenos Aires, right? And that is something you can change by moving elsewhere, but you can also move to an entirely new, different country where all of this is far more rare. And it is also true that you have different levels of delinquency and crime. Some things are less harmful than others. But here you see something that I've warned people all the time. You cannot walk around Buenos Aires with a phone in your hand and not expect it to be snatched sooner or later, most likely sooner. And it's because of this. Let's watch the video first and then analyze it a little bit more. She's looking at her phone like so many people, but you are in Buenos Aires, so hey, lady, your phone. That guy was actually trying to warn her. He's not an accomplice. You'll see who that is. There it is, the accomplice, right? And what you see here is the Buenos Aires police, the city police, following the guy, because Buenos Aires, the capital, is full of cameras.
Tiene una remera verde, pantalón de boca azul. Captado. Así mismo planificada hasta interior de Plaza Fuerza Aérea, justo en el interior.
Police officer approached the victim.
Mejía con campera negra, pantalón gris. ¿Se está visualizando?
Chase him, throw him to the floor, and that's it.
El segundo masculino estaba en Plaza Fuerza Aérea. Iba paralelo sin una remera verde con pantalón azul. Acá lo tengo. Sí, afirmativo, ese sería el segundo masculino. El personaje se encuentra con el damnificado. ¿Podría decirme si se trataría de un Samsung color azul? Afirma, sería ese el dispositivo celular.
And that's basically it, right? They catch both of these guys. Now, it also has to be said that for snatching a worn-out blue Samsung phone, which is this phone that the lady had, the guy's probably going to walk. They're going to be released. Now, I would like to see laws in terms of this being improved so that, yeah, maybe you get out the first time, I mean, this is still something that involves a certain level of violence because it was snatched from that person, and it was not just a theft, right? A distraction, and the victim was not aware of any of this until she realized it was not there anymore. No, there was a level of physicality to it. So I would not like to see these guys walk, right? Especially if this is something recurrent with them. But hey, probably what will happen. Now, let's analyze this little by little. First of all, what I was saying about before, no, Buenos Aires is not really a safe city. These things happen all day long. I know of people that got their phones snatched 8 times, and I was like, dude, be more careful. You know you're not supposed to do this. Now, and this is going to be the kind of lady that says, I do this all the time, nothing ever happens to me. Really? You never had your phone stolen? Well, yeah, a couple of times. Okay, that's what I mean, right? But that's how these things can be quite personal in terms of your perspective and feeling of how dangerous or not a city is. These things happen everywhere, no matter where you are, especially in larger cities, especially in more tourist rich locations. That's a nice target for these delinquents, but you basically have to be safe. It is also true that in many other cities of the world, you can sit in a park with your cell phone all day long, and you could probably do that all your life and never have a phone snatched from your hand. Well, in Buenos Aires, I freaking guarantee you that if you do this day and day, eventually, sooner rather than later, you will have your phone gone. So yeah, watch your 6. Usually when you do this sort of thing, you want to not bring out your phone on the streets. Go into a store, into a mall, somewhere where it's a little bit safer. Hopefully, some kind of security there. But yeah, you usually don't bring out your phone and just stare at it for several minutes in Buenos Aires. Just not the kind of thing that security conscious people end up doing. I do like the reaction of the guy. Hey, lady, he's about to steal your phone, right? He not only warns her, and he actually chases the guy, right? So that, I mean, well done to this guy. I think that everyone should react like that. Everyone should try to keep, we should all try to keep one another safe and protect one another. It also has to be said, careful. If he has a weapon of some kind, even just a knife, you just grab the guy by the shoulder, you get a knife to your chest, that's going to be a very bad day for you. So it's difficult to assess these situations. You kind of have to be there, and risk management and assessment in that split-second decision that you make, chasing him or not, you will have to decide that. He does chase him, but he doesn't catch him. But the Buenos Aires police has, as you see, cameras all over. Buenos Aires is full of cameras all the time, so much that they can track the guy as he ran and found his accomplice. Now, when he finds the accomplice, he gives him the phone, number 1, so he no longer has what was stolen. Number 2, he changes his clothes, right? Both of them change their clothes. They drop their jackets and they continue walking away, right? That is smart. That's the kind of thing that people that are professional do. It's a little bit more difficult to locate you. It used to be, but now with these new technologies, you're kind of fucked. They follow you around no matter where you go. So he changed clothes. He's communicating to the police on the ground all the time. Another thing regarding security and self-defense and preparedness, which I address here. The way in which you dress, the clothes you have. Here in Street Survival Skills, I mentioned that you don't want to have anything that's distinctive. I mean, colors like dark blue, dark green, gray. It all could be black or gray, depending on the sun, the shade, and the fabric itself. Definitely avoid the thing that the cop is mentioning here. He's wearing a Boca blue pants. Boca Juniors, the football team. Yeah. Yes, you're gonna be, yeah, you're the guy with a Boca blue pants. You're gonna be very much pinpointed in your description, right? So he changed the top, but he forgot that he had to change his pants as well, or maybe have pants that are less easy to identify.
Campeón azul con capucha, pantalón gris. El otro masculino está cruzando su línea, tiene una remera verde, pantalón de Boca azul.
Blue Boca pants, green shirt, yeah. It's going to be him. And especially when you have, again, a camera on you. Again, it would be easier when you didn't have cameras and you chase people and you find the guy and, you stole that lady's phone. No, I don't have anything here on me. What are you talking about? I did nothing. You pig, get out of here, right? That sort of thing. Well, with cameras all over the city, not so much. And here is where you look at it again at how much freedom do you have? How much intrusive is your government? I don't see the cameras themselves as something bad. This is like when you talk about fires. Oh, these are all inanimate objects. If I have cameras all over the city of Buenos Aires, is it bad? Well, if it's used to chase criminals, I don't think it is. If it's used for facial recognition and having a social credit score system like in China, yes, it is. So again, it's not the technology, it's not the camera, it's not the inanimate object in itself that is bad. It's how it's being used. So just like not having police officers armed with firearms doesn't make a government less of a tyranny, like in the perfect example of UK right now. Our cops don't have guns. No, but you have a tyrannic government nonetheless. Maybe one of the worst tyrannic governments in all of the Western civilized world. Definitely the most tyrannic developed nation on the planet. Yes, you do. Even if your cops don't have guns. You have cameras all over the place. What is it that you're using them for? Well, we use them for tracking criminals. Great. We use them for facial recognition. Oh, no, you can't do that. Why? Well, because it goes against the goddamn Constitution of Argentina. Oh, well, all of a sudden you have that Constitution that gets in the way. Now, in UK, you don't have any damn Constitution, so you're fucked. That's why it's important to have a constitution, guys, so as to make sure you have certain rights that even if you legislate, even if you come up with bullshit laws because you're a little tyrant yourself, no, you can't do that. Constitution has your back. It's not always working as nice as we would like, but in some cases it does. But again, technology in itself can be used for both things, good and evil. Just make sure you're not using it for a China communist or UK communist kind of agendas, okay? Anyway, guys, that's what you need to know about keeping safe. Maybe you don't have this level of crime in your city, but it's always nice to know how it operates and know how it works, because it's usually going to be kind of the same thing all over the world. Criminals have globalized themselves and operate in similar manners. See you next time. Take care.